Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Congressman Mulvaney, and to you and your family. And I have to say, after that interchange, I think folks on Social Security and Medicare ought to be really worried, and that just demonstrated the difference between what President Trump has indicated he would do and what, in fact, you will be advising him, Congressman Mulvaney, if, in fact, as you indicated and Senator Cotton indicated, you would give him the unvarnished truth. So I believe people sitting on this side of the aisle believe Medicare and Social Security are great American success stories that have lifted a generation of seniors out of poverty and created health care certainty for many, 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 many Americans. And I'm thinking after that exchange that for the 57 million seniors and people with disabilities and surviving spouses and children who receive Social Security benefits, the alarm bells should be going off right now. But let me go back as a straight shooter, which I certainly respect. You did indicate that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. Is that something that you will say to the president? And you did indicate that both Social Security and Medicaid and the Department of Education were unconstitutional. So just keeping it to Social Security, do you intend to indicate to the president that you believe Social Security is a Ponzi scheme?
Thank you for that, Senator. And I had a very similar conversation on this exact same topic with Senator Sanders in his office. And he asked me about that, and I said, well, what I described it as was a plan that takes money from people now in order to give money to people now. And he explained, and I think he was accurate in doing so, that Social Security has always been like that. So I wouldn't read too much into the description of it as a Ponzi scheme, as simply a describing to people how the cash flows. And the difficulty that we face was contained in what Mr. Graham just laid through, which is 50 years ago, 15 people were paying in and one person was taking out. And by the time my kids are paying for my retirement, 2 of them will be paying in for every one that's paying out.
It is also true, though, you and I talked in the office about the fact the cap was set in 1983, a while ago, at 90% of wage income. And it goes up a little bit. But one significant way to take a burden off of Social Security and keep it going strong for those who rely on it, and by the way, about a third of seniors basically live on the money solely from Social Security, maybe a little bit of a pension, but pensions are being challenged right now as well. So do you think the cap should be increased as a basic sense of fairness in terms of the fact that the last cap was set in 1983?
Thank you for that. If the Senate sees fit to confirm me, Senator, and I believe I had this conversation with just about everybody from both parties that I met with, including the independent, who's not from any party, there's really 5 levers in Social Security that you can
No, I
pull.
understand all 5, and I'm sorry, because I have one more question I want to
Sure.
ask after this. I know there's 5. I'm asking you about one.
And you have mentioned one, and I think if you pull one lever, you have to pull it a long way. And if you pull 3 or 4 or 5 levers, you don't have to pull them nearly as far.
Okay, thank you. And I want to completely change to something that I may be the only one to raise, although a couple of colleagues on the other side may as well. And that is a very important part of the budget called the Farm Bill, which is less than 2% of federal spending and affects every small town in Michigan, every farmer, as well as all of our food assistance programs. And in the last go-around, we were very proud on a bipartisan basis to be the only committee to actually cut spending in our own jurisdiction of $23 billion. And we're now coming into another time where we fully expect to work together on a bipartisan basis to invest in rural economy, small towns, agriculture, food programs, and so on. We're in a better position in the sense that food program spending has actually gone down because of the economy getting better. But do you intend to propose reductions to Farm Bill and investments in rural America in your budget, despite the fact that farmers and families already contributed significant savings towards deficit reduction?
Senator, I know that the Farm Bill is absolutely critical to you, as it is to many other members, including Mr. Grassley, who and I spoke about this. I apologize. It's been several years now, I think, since the House has taken it up, so I'm not in a position to give you an intelligent answer to the question. But we look forward to talking to members of all parties about how to both maintain and to improve and make more efficient the Farm Bill.
Thank you.